Have you ever just felt off? Like the gears aren't quite meshing when it comes to your energy, your body, or just your overall vitality? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack a framework from Dr. Salt that gets right to the root cause of why we feel that way. And trust me, the answers might not be what you think. So if you've been battling low energy, fighting to lose that last bit of stubborn fat, or maybe you've noticed a dip in your sex drive, you are so not alone. But here's the thing, these aren't just random, annoying issues. They are very specific signals from your body, and today we're going to learn how to decode them. Dr. Salt's work really simplifies things. It suggests that most of this dysfunction, especially when we talk about vitality and sexual health, isn't that complicated. It actually boils down to just 3 fundamental root causes. And if you can master these, you're on the key path to getting everything back on track. All right, so what are these 3 keys? They are hormone function, blood flow, and nerve conduction. Each one kind of builds on the last, and really getting how they connect is absolutely essential. So let's kick things off with hormones. First up, hormones. Think of them as your body's master control system. Testosterone is what drives libido, while progesterone helps us relax and get in the mood. But our bodies are fighting a war on 2 fronts here. Hormone production naturally goes down with age, we all know that, but it's also under constant attack from things called endocrine disruptors. These are chemicals in plastics, cookware, even lotions that mess with our hormones and throw the entire system out of whack.
The second key, blood flow, is crucial for everybody. Now, for men, a diet high in sugar can act like a hailstorm, just hammering and damaging the tiny, delicate blood vessels needed for an erection. And for women, arousal is all about blood flow to erogenous zones. And get this, here's a fascinating detail. Female lubrication is literally an ultrafiltrate of blood plasma. So when we say better blood flow improves the experience, that is not an exaggeration, it's straight up biology.
Okay, the final key is nerve conduction, which has 2 main modes. To get aroused, to point, so to speak, you have to be in the rest and digest or parasympathetic state. But to finish, your body has to switch gears into the fight or flight or sympathetic state. Now here's why that is so important. If you are constantly stressed out, living in that fight or flight mode 24/7, you are physiologically blocking the very first step. You can't get to the finish line if your nervous system won't even let you start the race.
So now that we have those 3 keys, let's use that same thinking for another huge frustration, stubborn fat loss. You're going to see that the exact same principles, hormones, toxins, and your body's own signals are at the heart of why your body holds on to weight. And spoiler, it often has absolutely nothing to do with willpower.
So why does your body stubbornly hold on to fat? Well, according to Dr. Salt, it really comes down to 3 big reasons. 1, it thinks you're starving. 2, your hormones are all out of balance. Or 3, it needs a safe place to store away toxins. Do you see the pattern here? In every single one of these cases, your body isn't working against you, it's actually trying to protect you. Let's start with that starvation signal. If your body senses it's not getting enough of the critical nutrients it needs, especially protein, it starts to panic. It thinks a famine is coming, so it goes into lockdown mode, holding on to your fat stores as a survival tool. It's kind of wild, right? Paradoxically, by not eating enough of the right things, you can actually signal your body to store more fat.
Hormones, of course, are the second huge blocker. Just take a look at these testosterone levels. Dr. Salt points out that while optimal function is way up there, near 1,000, all these issues like stubborn fat can start kicking in when levels drop down into the low 200 to 300 range. That is a massive drop. And it just goes to show how sensitive our body's fat storage signals are to our hormones.
And the third reason is one that most people have never even considered. Your fat can actually be a protective storage unit. When your body gets overloaded with toxins from food, water, or personal care products, it doesn't want them circulating around causing damage. So what does it do? It creates new fat cells just to safely tuck them away. This also explains why when people lose a lot of fat really fast, they sometimes feel sick. You're basically releasing all those stored toxins back into your system at once.
Now, these internal processes don't just affect our vitality and weight from day to day. They also directly control how we age. The food we eat is, in a very real sense, programming our biological clock at a cellular level.
The main culprit here is a process that creates something with a very fitting name, AGs. advanced glycation and products. When you have excess sugar floating around, it binds to proteins in your body, and it essentially caramelizes your cells. And that's not just a cute metaphor, it creates stiff, dysfunctional tissues, literally hardening your arteries and aging your skin from the inside out. This quote from Dr. Saul really drives the whole point home. She calls herself a retired biohacker. Why? Because she used to rely on tons of supplements and gadgets. But once she focused on just removing the things that were poisoning her system, like inflammatory foods and environmental toxins, she realized she didn't need all the hacks anymore. The goal became health by subtraction, not just by addition. All right, so after all this complex biology, you're probably wondering, is there a simple, actionable step we can take? And the answer is yes. We're going to look at a single superfood that supports the very systems we've been talking about, and yeah, it can cost as little as $1.
Any guesses? This isn't some exotic, hard-to-find berry from a remote mountain. It's something that's been known as an aphrodisiac for centuries, and it turns out there's some very, very good science behind that old reputation.
It's oysters. Simple as that. And yeah, as the source material points out, you can often find them for $1 a piece on Fridays at places like Whole Foods. So what makes them such a powerhouse? Well, oysters are a true powerhouse of minerals that your body can actually use. They are jam-packed with zinc, which is absolutely crucial for making hormones. They've got copper, which is essential for healthy collagen and connective tissue. Hello, blood vessel health. There's iodine for your thyroid and metabolism, and selenium, a really powerful antioxidant. You see how each mineral directly supports those core systems we talked about? Hormones, blood flow, and nerve function? It all connects. So the big takeaway here is this. Symptoms like fatigue, or stubborn fat, or low libido, they aren't signs that you're failing. They're signals. And instead of just trying to silence them, this framework gives us a totally new way to listen. To start asking, what is my body trying to tell me about my hormones, my blood flow, and my nervous system? The real question is, are you ready to hear the answer?